Why you always contradict everything, including self? Celestial rising. Divine at noon and grand night to the beautiful deity watching this video. It's a divine reflection, divine messenger, and we are back with another message to understand. For one, you already know whenever I start a video off like this, you already know I got a lot on my mind, especially with what I experience. I experience a lot of things in this world that you experience as well. The only difference is I don't have to come onto the internet and tell you what I'm going through, because why would you bring your problems to work, right? So, but the thing is, what am I working on besides myself? The thing is, there's nothing wrong with expressing yourself no matter where it is, because of course, even if people can't, if they can't fathom what you're going through, as long as you know what you're going through and you can transmit that energy however way you want, because don't forget, this world belongs to you, but nothing belongs to you when the belonging that belongs to you never belongs to you in the first place, but it belongs to the Almighty, but the Almighty works through you. So technically speaking, this realm does temporarily belong to you. So whatever you experience, you are experiencing for a reason. And this reasoning may not have a meaning behind that meaning that you thought you were placing meaning into through your thoughts that you were trying to contradict in a thought process of contradictions. Yeah, my nose is going to be itchy a little bit because I'm getting a lot of downloads and I'm out of nature, so I shouldn't have to explain that by now. But you know, we got new people coming to the channel, so they're probably like, this nigga probably on crack and shit. But nah, just a lot of times my nose itches whenever I receive a lot of downloads that my mind just can't fathom. So I do apologize for scratching my nose a lot. But let's put a scenario out there so that you can literally understand why the mind contradicts itself, because the spirit knows all. The spirit knows why you do what you do, but the subconscious mind cannot comprehend why you're doing what you're doing. So the subconscious mind is going to feel as if you may be doing a good deed for someone. So for example, let's put a scenario, hypothetically speaking, right? But if you know me and I talked to you recently, you know. If you know, you know. If you don't know, this scenario will make sense to you and why I'm bringing it up, because it has something to do with why you contradict yourself. Let's say you work somewhere. Let's say you work at a facility where you mentor kids, for example, right? Now, you work at this facility and the children, they basically, they appreciate you. They adore you. They... God, if you don't stop flying near me, motherfucker, I swear to God. They appreciate you, they adore you, they love your presence. They, every time they see you, they always want to give you a hug. They always say, whatever your name is, hey, so here's what happened to me today. They just want to tell you about their problems. They want to tell you about your day, because of course nobody listens to them anyways, right? But whenever they see you, it's a bundle of joy. You see nothing but positivity, nothing but smiles. They always want to ask you questions. They always want to surround you. It's like a little gang of minions huddling up around you. When one of them does it, all of them got to do it, because that attention is focused on that one child. But then when that one child gets all of your attention, and especially if they admire how you look and it's how you speak and how your spirit is, because of course these young entities, they can sense how strong your spirit is if you are in tune with your spirit, because everything is a spiritual realm. Like, we are literally living in a spiritual realm physically. Now we understand that when that one child gets that attention, now all of them want your attention. So now we got different egos fighting different egos. No, I want that person's attention. Why does he get to have that? Why does she get to have that? I want to talk to you, but hey, so-and-so, can I tell you this? No, he doesn't want to hear that. She doesn't want to hear that. There's different mindsets. It's okay, right? But let's say you want to do a good deed for someone's daughter or someone's son, right? And you decide to write a letter to that person's mom because you want to make a good impression, to let your, because every time you bring this person's daughter out to their car, like let's say they have a car ride, for example, after, like let's say it's after school or after daycare, whatever, you send a letter to their mother, letting the mother know, like, hey, your daughter or your son is doing great. They are attentive, you know, with details. They are obedient. They're listening, and they're a great child. Because of course they may have some implications in the past, but this past week they just been great. They've been doing what they had to do, and there's no problems with them at all whatsoever. So every time you come to the car, hey, has so and so had a good day? And let me tell you about their day. Their day was great. Nothing wrong nothing wrong with them at all. They were just doing what they had to do, and I really appreciate them for that. And the thing is too, of course, people can say as well, in like the professional standpoint, people want to say, well, why would somebody send a letter to someone's mom? And and the thing is too, if you can't speak to that woman or the person's mother directly because you had to attend to other kids, you would give it to the daughter as well, because you know that. And the thing is too, the daughter is watching you write this letter as well to give to their mom, because you know that you're not going to be able to go to the car to speak to the mother, because of course another supervisor has to go take the kids out to the car, so they have to have you in the room watching the other kids too, or the kids will be alone in the room. But you get this letter to the daughter or the son to get to the mother. And the thing is too, you can use words like gorgeous or beautiful or, spontaneous or amazing, loving, just caring. You're using these words saying like, yeah, I want you to know like you're a gorgeous being, and you have great things going for yourself, and your daughter's she's amazing. Your son, he's amazing. Like, I just love having them around. And then the thing is too, if they give that to the mother, whatever, it's like by you to the daughter who watches the letter, like you writing a letter, she's really appreciative that you're telling her mom that, because only the daughter knows or the son knows what their mom goes through at home, especially in a single parent household, because they already know that no man or woman's telling them how good they look. And the thing is too, somebody's going to say, well, that's probably not professional to do. The thing is though, what is professionalism to a professional when things don't have to be professional in the professional world? Just because you're professional doesn't mean that you can't give out a compliment. Not only that, these are titles. So it's like, if you get offended by a positive title, that shows that you have a mental illness and you need to heal your demons. Because imagine the demonic program getting mad because you called their ego gorgeous. So it's just like, now you have to deal with your supervisor or these people in your job who are telling you, hey, what happened with this? Because the mother's telling us that you wrote a letter or whatever, and now the parent is out here saying that, they felt offended. How? How can you be offended by a positive program? How do you get mad? And how do you snitch? How do you try to get somebody in trouble for calling you gorgeous or beautiful or amazing or your child amazing? Not only that, how do you snitch on somebody and it backfires on you? It's like, in this instance, many of these kids, when they go home, they do not have a loving household, because and the thing is too, as you write that letter, your spirit knows that you should not write that letter to this person because you don't know the outcome. But your ego thinks that you're doing a good deed. Even though you're doing righteousness, it's still wrong. To a being that lives in the wrongdoing of their unconscious righteousness that is not so righteous. Even when you think it's right, it's still wrong to somebody else. But what is wrong when it feels right? You know that you're writing with the intention of, I know that this letter right here, because I cannot physically talk to that person's mother. I don't want to get their number because that's literally unprofessional at that point, because why are you getting their number? No, it's unprofessional. So it's just like, okay, but what is being professional? What is that? Why are we attaching labels to programs? So the ego now has to contradict itself on saying, as I write this, I know it feels right, but then something in the back burner, your intention tells you, I don't know if you should write that because you may not know what's going to happen in the future. You may not know how they're going to take that. But the thing is, though, your spirit just does not care, because your spirit is observing what the experience is going to place into your mindset, because you're doing a good deed with a great intention. You're not intending to flirt with their mother. You're not intending to get with their mother at all whatsoever. But the thing that makes it even worse, your contradiction ended up working for a temporary period of time, because let's say the child gave the mother the letter. Now the mother or the father, whoever the case, they're coming to you, letting you know or asking you, like, or just mentioning to you, hey, I got the letter, this or that. Now they're telling you their life story, they're venting to you, and they're telling you about their life story, about what happened to them while they're a single parent and what's going on and why they had to get money to do this and do that. You're just sitting there like, well, I didn't have to know that, but thank you for mentioning it. Thank you for mentioning it to me. I didn't really care, but the thing is, I just want to give you that letter because I feel like you should know that about yourself. Because it doesn't matter if you're in a job or a corporate industry. I feel like we had to go back to giving compliments to each other. Because if let's say you get a letter to the mother or the father at home, and they beat on their child at home, and they abuse them, they talk down on them, they put them on punishment, and this child comes to the after school or daycare or wherever with great energy and positive energy, but when they get home, they dread going home. But when they see you, you light up their world. Those demons hate that shit. Because now the mother or the father is telling you, yeah, my daughter, my son tells me all about you when they come in the car, when they get home. And it's not your fault that they do that. Is a squirrel getting ate by a snake or a cougar or a jaguar or a fox? What are you squealing for? Escape! Probably getting this neck crack right now. But hey, circle of life, man. Apex predators. Anyways, so this child is going to their mother, their father, telling them how much they appreciate their mentor, their spiritual guide, or their after-school counselor, or their daycare teacher, or their coach, or whatever. But your intention was not to get with their parent. Your intention was to literally give a compliment so that they could uplift their spirits and their love for the child at home, because these children need love at home. But see, it's not your job to do that. That's exactly why you contradict yourself, because you know in your heart, you move with love no matter what. And that's what makes it, that's why I just don't understand people. I get their demons, but I just don't understand people and their fallacies. Because you can move with love so much. You can move with logic, common sense. But the thing is, though, common sense is not so common no more, because people have no sense, because they have to pay for it through their suffering. And they're suffering for free. How are you suffering for free and you still pay for it when it's free? How are you putting a price tag on suffering, but then when somebody comes around and you never experienced their experience, and they're giving you a transmutation of positive energy from a higher divinity, you reject it? How do you get offended by a compliment that you never received before? I still need an answer for that. I never understood that. Because when it comes to self, I'm about to sneeze. Let me know when you're ready. Just let me know when you're ready. That's what I thought. So, excuse me. So, why do you sound like that? Something has to be getting, like, do you not have a leg? Something must be limping in the woods. I don't know what the fuck that is, but something is squealing like it's hurt. Oh well. Anyways, that's exactly why no matter what, you have to always know that your intentions mean no harm to people who do harm to themselves. Your intentions do not have a meaning harm to a person that means to do harm to themselves. They already harm themselves every day by just existing in their meat costume or their advanced technology that they are asleep to. When you are embodying positivity, love, when you are radiating at a higher frequency that you have ascended and did the shadow work for, there are some people who are still in their shadow work phase, but they'll tell you, I'm on my spiritual journey. This is why I do this, is why I do that. You know, I believe in God and Jesus this and Jesus that. When people mention that, you know where you're going with that conversation. Let it be. And it hurts too when a parent has to tell, hypothetically speaking, right? A parent has to tell, if I look to the left or the right, what does that mean? When a parent hypothetically tells you, or anybody else hypothetically speaking, when they tell you, hey, don't tell my child about Jesus is the devil, this and that, because that's not what I teach them, and they go to church. First of all, as an adult, you should come to another adult and have a conversation with an open mind. If your child is asking somebody that they look up to, and they're nosy, by the way, if your child is asking, what are your videos about? When you're editing in front of them, before other kids come, they're watching you edit. They're watching you and asking you these questions. Why would you lie to a child? If your child asks you, who is God to you? What is Jesus to you? Are you going to sit there and lie to them with what you research? Because this research is literally free. It's free. But see, contradictions, because now when you speak of contradiction, you got to actually tell yourself, for one, Satan would call itself Jesus. Why would I lie to a child when I've researched that? And not only that, I know what I experienced. Not only that, you do gematria. It's right in front of your goddamn face. That's the problem with our people right here. When people don't do their research and their child needs an outlet to find information and it makes sense to them, they're going to come to their parents and say, this is what I learned today. Jesus is the devil. I never said that it was the devil, but you misinterpreted my words. But you're not wrong for saying that. But how are you offended because your child is speaking in a contradiction? Because for one, Jesus and the devil don't even exist. But you're contradicting yourself because your ego thinks one thing, but your spirit thinks another thing as well. So you got a spiritual ego also. You already have the physical ego, but you have a spiritual ego also. But when you contradict everything and question everything, you have to do that because, for one, your mind thinks that it knows everything, but it doesn't. Because if it did, why are you still here right now? Why do you believe instead of knowing? Why do you believe in death instead of knowing that you can't die? Why do you believe in God instead of knowing that you are God? Why do you believe you're a human when you should know that you're not a human being? Because what is a human being when it's a demon? Why do you believe in the weather when you know the weather is controlled? Why do you believe in the sun and the moon when you should know that the sun and the moon are your mom and your dad? And the celestial enlightenment of their all-seeing perception of your eyelids? Why do you believe in birds when birds are controlled to view your perception at a bird's eye view? They're literally altered. Their consciousness is altered. They are controlled. They are altered frequency at a higher divinity with wings, winging you to know how high you can get outside of your mindset when you go above and beyond the flight that you can attend. So to be a bird, you gotta pay for a plane. But you don't know that you can astral project. You believe that you can fly a plane, but you don't know that you are actually the plane flying yourself in the astral experience. Belief is acceptance. When you know, you don't accept shit because you know what you are already. That's why contradictions are the biggest plot twist of our simulation. People don't understand contradictions because it's too hard to fathom. Life is a rabbit hole. Your ego is programmed in a laboratory. Literally, you are laying, I love saying this shit because if you could visually see beyond the 9th dimension, if you can go outside of your mindset, outside of your body, and you see what these deities are doing to you every single day, it's literally a lab experiment. And the thing is, too, the laboratory is so massive, you can't even articulate it in the physical form. You have to try to do it. And it still won't make sense to a nigga who can't comprehend common sense. You have to actually rewind. And you have to sit there and meditate on what the fuck I'm literally about to say to your ass. Imagine you go outside of your body and you see terrestrial, it doesn't matter what name they have because there are more than billions of deities that you can't even name. And I gave you, in my old videos, I gave you numerous names of these deities. And I still don't care for their names because they have no name. Human beings gave deities a name so that we can identify things that we can't comprehend. You cannot comprehend an insectoid. So how do you know it's an insectoid? You can't comprehend a zeta gray. So how do you know it's a zeta gray? You can't comprehend a reptilian, but you know that's a reptilian. But how do you know it's a reptilian when you are one? You believe in demons when you don't know that you actually are a demon, not knowing that you're a demonic program. That literally is an angelic frequency that you can comprehend through your divinity if you tap into the love that you have for yourself. When you leave your body and you see these deities, they are literally and physically opening up your mind, and they're observing you in a prototype, in a pod that you are unconscious into. All these movies will tell you that. You are literally sleeping in a pod. You are in a bunk. You are in a casket by yourself. You have a screen behind you, a projector behind you, right next to you. They are able to sit there and say, okay, Come over here real quick. We got experiment 528. Okay, right now they're just being born. They just picked their mother out and her father. Looks like they're going to be single, so they're going to have a lot of trauma. What should we do about that? And of course, they don't speak English, so it's like they're opening up your mindset. The whole entire time, though, your eyes are closed, but you're wide awake. You're wide awake, but your eyes are closed. So how are you awake to their programming when you are asleep in the programming? How are you awake to their programming when you are asleep in the programming? Your mind thinks that this is... Your mind thinks that this is real. Your mind thinks that I physically slid down a slide, but I was here the whole entire time. How is that possible? Your mind thinks that I had a sticky note that tells you why you always contradict everything, including self. Because you don't know yourself till you know yourself. But how can you know yourself when you were never here in self? Who are you to yourself when yourself does not know who it is to itself? Self cannot be comprehended through self. You have to go outside of yourself to know that you're not the self that you thought you wanted to be through self. Why are you finding my tripod? I want to step on you so bad, but I just don't want to disrespect you. Can you please just fly away real quick, bro? Why are you parking in my car? Nigga, you see what I'm saying? Like, people want to be nosy, but it's all right though. Distractions. When you understand that, you got to understand that no matter what you do, you're going to always be at fault for your righteousness. The fuck? Niggas is nosy as fuck. Yo, get the fuck away from me, man. God damn it. People are always nosy. But see, they don't know themselves. So they have to sit here and listen to what they can't comprehend. And they make judgment of it. Is that your fault? No, it's not. Keep doing what you're doing. Because no matter what, people always have something to say. People always have something to say. Whether it's good or bad. What's that got to do with self? You think that you're hearing what you're hearing. You think that you're seeing what you're seeing. No matter what you do, never stop being a good person. Always give out compliments. Our people need that. We don't have love in the household no more. So why would you stop because somebody snitched to your supervisor telling you, yeah, I felt offended because so-and-so told me I look good today? Imagine a woman came up to me and said, hey, you look handsome today. And I told their supervisor, hey, this woman said I look handsome today. I felt offended by that. Can you handle that for me? What? No matter what, never give up being a good person. Always contradict yourself. You have to. If you don't, you'll be lost. Because your mind can think one thing, and then if your mind believes one thing, it's gonna follow that programming. And if your mind follows that programming, it's gonna believe it and it'll get lost in it and it'll have faith in that belief system. That's why when spiritually, if you know yourself, you can contradict your mindset because for one, literally, your spirit is Almighty God holding hands with Satan. It's just that simple. Your physical being, you are Satan. But spiritually, you are God. That's why God is Satan. You can't have Satan without God. You can't have God without Satan. And they're both the same exact entity. And if you get offended, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care. I just don't understand this shit anymore. Being a good person gets you killed out here. Thank y'all for watching this video, man. Hopefully I was able to answer this question for y'all, but the subconscious mind has to contradict itself. Anyways, take care of yourselves, man. I appreciate yourselves. I love y'all so much. Have a great, wonderful day. I'm gone.